The university cafeteria buzzed with life as students filled every table, their laughter and chatter blending into a chaotic symphony. Cutie sat in the middle of it all, surrounded by her friends, Jisoo, Lisa, and Jenny, who were cracking up at an inside joke that Cutie had apparently missed. Her spoon hovered midair as she tried to keep up with their antics, but her attention was drawn to a table in the far corner. There he was, Kim Tae. The infamous bad boy leaned back in his chair, his legs stretched out arrogantly under the table. His leather jacket hung off one shoulder, and his sharp jawline was set in its usual brooding pout. He was surrounded by his equal intimidating friends, Yoongi, Hoseok, and Jungkook, but the aura he exuded made it clear that he was the center of gravity. Cutie quickly looked away, hoping her gaze had not lingered too long. But Lisa caught her. Caught ya staring, Cutie. Lisa sing-songed, drawing everyone's attention. What? No, Cutie protested, feeling the heat creep up her neck. Oh, come on, Jenny teased. You have got to admit. There's something fascinating about him. He's like a dark cloud, angry, mysterious, and very bad for your emotional stability. Cutie rolled her eyes. He's just dramatic. Probably practices that scowl in front of a mirror. Speaking of drama, Jisoo interjected, her eyes gleaming mischievously. I have got the perfect dare for you. Cutie narrowed her eyes suspiciously. Oh no, not this again. Jisoo grinned wickedly, leaning forward. I dare you to imitate him. Lisa nearly spat out her drink. Oh my god, yes. Cutie, you would be perfect. You have already got his eye roll down. No way, Cutie said firmly, shaking her head. Why not? Jisoo challenged. Afraid he will notice? Cutie laughed nervously. But the truth was, the idea of them noticing anything about her sent shivers down her spine. For reasons she didn't fully want to admit. It's not that. It's just he has anger issues, like severe ones. What if he flips a table on me? Jenny waved her off. Please, he's all bark and no bite. Oh, he bites, Lisa muttered under her breath, earning giggles from the group. Fine, Cutie snapped, slamming her spoon down. I will do it, but if I get expelled for starting a fight, you are all paying my tuition. The girls erupted into cheers, and Jisoo clapped her hands gleefully. This is going to be legendary. The cafeteria was alive with its usual buzz. Clinking plates, overlapping conversations, and laughter bouncing off the walls. At the far end of the room, Kim Taehyung sat with his usual calm arrogance, his sharp gaze scanning the room like he owned it. He leaned back in his chair, his dark leather jacket slung over the backrest, exuding an effortless charisma that made every head turn. At another table, Cutie's friends were practically bouncing in their seats, the excitement in their eyes making her groan internally. Come on, Cutie, Jisoo whispered urgently. It's now or never. He's right there. Cutie glanced at Taehyung's table, her pulse quickening at the sight of him laughing lightly at something Jungkook said. The sight of his lazy, slightly dangerous smile made her stomach flip, a reaction she immediately scolded herself for. I can't believe I let you guys take me into this, Cutie muttered, adjusting the borrowed leather jacket she had thrown on. Oh, stop winning. You look great, Lisa encouraged, trying to hold back a laugh. Channel your inner Taehyung. Think dark, brooding thoughts. You have got this. Taking a deep breath, Cutie pushed herself up from her chair. Her heart pounded as she sauntered towards Taehyung's table, trying to mimic his signature confidence. She dropped into the chair directly across from Taehyung, throwing one leg over the other with exaggerated nonchalance. The sudden intrusion made all heads at the table turn towards her, eyebrows raised in surprise. Taehyung's gaze flicked up lazily, his deep brown eyes locking onto hers. He didn't say anything. He didn't have to. The sharp tilt of his head and the faint smirk on his lips screamed amusement. Cutie crossed her arms and slouched, squinting at nothing in particular. Ugh, she muttered loudly, making sure her voice carried over the ambient noise. This place reeks of desperation. Everyone is so pathetic. Jungkook choked on his drink. Hojok slapped a hand over his mouth to stifle his laughter, while Yoongi raised an eyebrow, clearly entertained. What the hell? Taeyang's low, gravely voice finally broke the tension. He leaned forward slightly, his sharp jawline on full display, as he studied her. Are you imitating me? Cutie flicked her hand dismissively. A perfect imitation of his signature disinterest. Pff, don't flatter yourself. I'm just observing the chaos around me. Not that you would understand. You seem to thrive on this circus. Whoa, Jungkook said, grinning. She's really got you down, Tae. The tone, the attitude, even the way you slouch. Like you hate everything. Hojok leaned in, his eyes twinkling with mischief. You should be worried, man. She's doing it better than you. Taeyang didn't take his eyes off Cutie. His smirk deepened, but there was something unreadable in his gaze. A mix of amusement and something darker, more intrigued. You are bold, he said finally, his voice dropping an octave. But if you are going to pretend to be me, at least get the details right. Cutie raised an eyebrow, forcing herself to hold his intense stare, even though her pulse was racing. Oh please, I nailed it. The brooding, the I am too cool to care vibe. It's not rocket science. Taeyang leaned closer, his elbows resting on the table, his face now dangerously close to hers. His scent, woodsy and warm, invaded her senses, making it impossible to think straight. Not bad, he murmured, his voice so low it sent a shiver down her spine. But you are missing one thing. Cutie swallowed hard, trying to ignore how her heart was now doing somersaults. And what's that? He tilted his head, his lips curling into a smirk that made her knees weak, even though she was sitting. His eyes dipped down to her lips for a fraction of a second before returning to her gaze. Confidence, he said simply, his voice smooth and taunting. You are trying too hard. I don't try. That's the difference. The table erupted into laughter, Wojok near falling out of his chair. But Cutie barely registered it. She was too busy staring at Taeyang, who was now leaning back again, looking like he had just won some invisible battle. Confidence, huh? Cutie shot back, masking her flustered state with sarcasm. She sat up straighter, brushing her hair over her shoulder dramatically. Well, not everyone's born with an overinflated ego, Kim Taeyang. Taeyang chuckled softly, a deep, rich sound that sent goosebumps racing down her arms. Keep talking, sweetheart. You are only making it easier for me to win. Oh, I didn't realize this was a competition, Cutie retorted, her tone sharp but playful. Everything is a competition. Taehyung replied smoothly, his eyes glinting with challenge. For a moment, the world around them seemed to fade. The banter had created a palpable tension between them, thick and electric. Cutie's breath hitched as Taehyung's gaze softened ever so slightly, his smirk replaced by something more genuine, almost tender. It lasted only a second before Yoongi broke the silence with a dry comment. You know, if you two are going to flirt, maybe warn the rest of us. Some of us are trying to eat. The spell broke, and Cutie's face turned scarlet. We are not. Flirting? Oh, absolutely. Hojok interrupted, grinning. I have never seen Tae actually enjoy a conversation with anyone before. It's kind of cute. Shut up, Taeyang muttered, his ears stained pink. Cutie stood abruptly, her chair scraping against the floor. This was fun, she said sarcastically, brushing imaginary dust off her jacket. But I have better things to do than sit around and brood. She spun on her heel and stalked away, her friends collapsing into fits of laughter as she rejoined them. From across the room, she felt Taeyang's eyes following her, and for the rest of the day, she could not shake the memory of his voice, his smirk, and the way his presence had made her feel like the center of his universe, even if just for a moment.